Have you ever had a routine in your life that works really well for a long time and then all of a sudden it feels like it's more work than it should be? There are times in our lives when a routine needs to be scrapped, and then there are other times where it just needs to be tweaked a little bit. So, today we're talking about four signs to look for to know if a routine is no longer working and what to do about it.
Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renee Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast.
No matter if you are a routine person or not, you probably do something consistently, and that works really well for a long time. Even if it's not a specific routine that you have intentionally built, you probably do something over and over and you repeat it in a consistent manner for a really long time. And if you are doing this and it's working well for you and it's giving you peace of mind and it's making your life a little bit easier, then it's a good routine and it's a solid routine that can keep going. And it makes it really easy and it makes life easier to manage when you have routines that are really good and solid and they can keep a consistent flow for you. But when you have a routine that is working well for a while, or maybe even in the beginning, it doesn't work at all, then you need to know that that routine is not working. And sometimes it's hard to know if it's the routine or if it's us, because a lot of times we want to build a routine to help manage our stress or manage our workload or something like that. And sometimes we look at that and we're like, okay, I just need to be consistent with this routine because then everything is going to be okay. And if it's not consistent or if we're struggling to maintain that routine, then we don't always look at the routine itself. Sometimes we look at ourselves and we are constantly judging ourselves of like, why can't I stick to this? Like, what is wrong with me that I can't stick to this routine? And there are going to be some cases where it is an inconvenience for a while because we have to get in the habit of repeating a routine. But once we get the flow, then we can see whether or not the routine itself needs to be tweaked or if it's just our behavior. So it's a really important practice to look at this and say, okay, if something is not working, why is it not working? Is it me or is it the routine? So when we're looking at this, we want to look at four different signs of why a routine might not be working. And there are probably many more. I just sat down and I was like, okay, what are some signs that a routine might be working and might not be working? And these are the four that I just wrote down quickly to go through today on this episode. So, four signs that a routine is no longer working is number one, it's no longer helpful or it wasn't even helpful in the beginning. We don't want to put a routine in place that is not helping a certain area of our life. We don't want to put a routine in place just because we feel like we should or we've been told that we have to. If it's not helping anything, it's not a good routine. So you really want to look at that and ask yourself, is this routine actually helping? Number two is that it's hard to follow or it feels chaotic. If a routine is too complicated, too long, or just simply doesn't flow very well, then it's not a good routine or something needs to be tweaked because we want to make sure that any routine we have is helpful and it's easy to follow and it feels like it's a smooth routine, not a chaotic routine. If it's feeling chaotic or it's feeling like it's really hard to follow, then it's not working. The third reason a routine might not be working is that it's causing you more stress rather than reducing it. We never want to put a routine in place that is actually causing stress. If we are stressed out about trying to complete a routine and feeling like we're not getting it and it's not actually doing anything to help us, and it feels chaotic and it is causing us more stress, it is definitely not a good routine. So maybe the idea of the routine is good, but the routine itself that you have in place is not such a good choice. So that is where we really want to look at it. And is it actually like the routine itself? Is that causing more stress or is it reducing it? Because if it's causing stress, then it's not working. And number 4 is it feels too rigid and there's little room for flexibility. If we have a routine that does not allow for flexibility in our life, it's going to be really hard to follow and it's going to feel more stressful. So, if you have a routine that is too rigid and doesn't flex and flow with your life well, then it might not be working. And because it also might be causing more stress rather than reducing it. So, they all kind of tie together, and you can kind of hopefully see the pattern here of when a routine might not be working because we definitely want to be making sure that any routine we have is going to be helpful, easy to follow, it's going to flow smoothly, it's going to reduce our stress, and it's going to feel flexible with our lifestyle. So, when we are looking at a routine and we go through this list and we're looking at it and saying, okay, this routine in my life is definitely not working. So now you need to understand what to do about it. Because, like I said before, sometimes we do need to just scrap a routine because this is not working and it just needs to go. Our life would be better without it. And then there are situations where it's like, okay, the routine or the idea of this routine is good. It's just the specific routine that I'm doing that is not good. So then we need to look at it. So I would like you, if something is not working, I would like you to take some time, grab a pen and paper, and I want you to just sit down and think about your routine. Write down what is working well about it. Like what parts of the routine or how does it make you feel or anything like that? What is working well or why is it a good idea to keep the routine? And then on the other side of the paper, you could just draw a line down the center of it and have one column of all the good things about it and then have another column of the struggles that you're having with it. Like, why is it not working? What is causing you more stress? What is it that is not working well? And then you've got the comparison. So you've got both columns to look at on this routine. And then when you review them, you can take a look and decide, is this a routine that I want to just tweak and make adjustments to? Because I can get rid of the things that aren't working and I can make some adjustments to build a routine that does work and try again and keep doing this until you find a flow that works well for you. Or if you look at it and it has very little uh, pros and many, many cons, then you can look at that and say, okay, this routine might not be a good fit for me. And maybe I can adjust and do something else instead of this routine. And this routine just has to go because it's not helping me. It's causing me more stress and it's not doing anything beneficial for my life. So that's a time where you can really see on paper, you can look at all the pros and cons. You can look at what's working well, what's not working well. And then when you have that visual picture in front of you, it's a lot easier to see what your decision should be. And nobody can make this decision for you. You really have to make it yourself because you have to look at what is going to make the biggest difference for you in this season of life. Because I also want to mention that a routine can be working really well for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's just not working well. And it probably has nothing to do with you. But when you look at it, it's like, okay, if I had a routine that was making me get up at 6 a.m. every day and doing, X, Y, and Z, and now all of a sudden, I have a shift in my schedule where I'm up much later and I am really tired when I get up at 5:30 in the morning to be ready for this 6 o'clock routine. And it's just draining my battery and I'm not able to show up well for it and it's not working. So maybe the routine itself is good, but you need to shift when you're doing it. Or maybe it's something about like the routine itself, maybe it's just too long and you need to cut it shorter. You need to prioritize what you're doing in that routine so that you can do it at a different time of day and it can be done in a small gap of the day so that those things are getting done, and you don't have to stress about having such a big block of time to get it done. It really depends on what kind of routine we're looking at. So I'm kind of being really vague here because there are so many different types of routines that we could be looking at in this aspect. But I'm just kind of giving you some ideas of what could be tweaked to make sure that it's working for you, because a routine itself might be working well, but you just have to tweak some things when you come into a new season of life, because our lives are constantly changing. Life just keeps happening. People are getting older, kids are growing up, jobs are changing, schedules are changing, our hormones are changing, like we start to feel different. There are going to be so many factors to consider when you are looking at a routine, and just because something is no longer working doesn't mean you have to scrap it completely. It might just mean that you need to make a few adjustments, and then it's going to work really well for you again. So I hope that you go through these and you really take a look at what routines you have in place and whether or not they are working well. Because if they're not working well, then we need to make some adjustments, because that is what is going to make all the difference for you to be able to reduce that stress and feel more organized and in control of everything, while also creating more flexibility and getting that time back in your day because you have built routines that are actually helping you. So, we'll quick recap those 4 signs that a routine is no longer working is: number 1, it's not helpful. Number 2, it's hard to follow or is feeling chaotic. Number 3, it's causing stress rather than reducing it. And number 4, it's too rigid and there's little room for flexibility. And then what to do about it is you want to sit down with a pen and paper and just cut the paper in half, just put a line right down the center, and on one side of the column, write down everything that's working well and what you like about the routine. And on the other side, write down all the struggles that you're having with it and what's not working well. So you end up with a pros and cons list. And then take a look at it and decide, do you just need to make some tweaks and build a different routine to customize it more to your life so that you can keep the routine, but you just need to make some adjustments so that it works well for you in this season of life? Or do you need to let this routine go? And you can make those decisions, see what works well for you. But whatever you decide, I hope that it benefits your life and that you feel more freedom with it, because that is the whole purpose of routines in the first place. Is routines are meant to be beneficial so that you can get your time back and that you feel more free to live your life the way that you want to be living. They just give you that flexible structure. We don't want routines that are stressing us out. So I hope that you go through this and make some adjustments to any routines that are not working well and make those decisions, and that you can adjust everything or scrap it, whatever works best, and you get routines that are working really well for you. And if you need to go back and listen to these episodes, then we've got over 200 to listen to help you get the 5 foundational routines in place. That's your morning routine, your meal planning routine, your daily 7 home routine, your movement routine, and your budget routine. And if you need to go through a little bit more help on that, go to reneematt.com and you can see all of our resources there as well, and start getting these in place, because these are routines that are customized to your life so that you can actually start making a difference. These are going to be routines that benefit your life rather than causing more stress, because we definitely don't want to be doing that. We want to get our lives organized so that we can feel more freedom. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you back here on the next one.
Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.